All right, so I'm gonna do a review of the book, Disruptive Thinking by T.D. Jakes. Overall, it was a good book. I would rate it 3 out of 5. So I'll start with the first chapter. So I took notes throughout the whole book. I did an audio book. So let's get into it. So I put the author, which is C.D. Jakes, talks a lot about life. He was poor, but he didn't feel like it due to his family and other individuals in the neighborhood. His father was an entrepreneur. He had a janitor business. His father became ill doing dialysis. T.D. Jakes, at the age of 12, had to take care of him. And so he lost his childhood due to that. Then he reflected and asked the reader, what if what if the most influential people in the world had a good childhood? Then they wouldn't be who they are now, such as Nina Horn and Oprah. So, and then he also talks about transitional period. What got you to a certain place, such as trauma, can motivate you to get to another place. You have to close one chapter to enter a new chapter. I felt that one. That was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one because that one thing that drives you can't push you to the next finish line. So I fucked with that one. And then he talks about being black made him unsafe. And then he talks about, did y'all know he made a Potter's house? I did not know that. I'm not really a T.D. Jakes fan, so I thought that was very interesting. And then he said, don't be a people pleaser. It will get you nowhere. Um, all right, so now I'm going to talk about chapter 2. The title is Why Do We Need Disruptive Thinking Now? So this chapter talks about the facts of poverty and wealth, especially during a time of COVID, how CEOs were at the height of their careers making millions while others had to close businesses. This is why I want to be a CEO. No lie. Fuck what everybody else got going on. Regardless, you're gonna make money. So I felt that. Then he talks about changing things you don't like. Not staying in an environment or place. The first step is realizing what you're going through and having the drive to get up and change it by making that move. Poor or not, don't let your subconscious keep you where you don't belong. All right, now let's get into chapter 3, disruptive partnerships. The awareness to know the difference and to respect them. Relationships should evolve because you're evolving. Nothing should stay the same. Nothing should stay the same. I feel this. I've had a friend that I've known since high school, and my mindset, I'm like, we are just not on the same wavelength. Like you're staying here, and I'm all the way over here, but that doesn't matter. You're both evolving in different directions, so that's all that matters. You can't stay the same. Says your needs and wants change, and you must let your partner know, especially if you're in a marriage. I'm not married. I don't have a boyfriend, but listen, like things change, people change, people have different goals and aspirations. Like that's part of life, that's part of evolving. So just to make that clear, like. And then also I talks about hidden layers of power, which are the corporations that control social outcomes. I knew this, but he went into more details about it, and so I understood it. So he was like, the first layer is politics. Wells Fargo, Chase, Chick-fil-A, Walmart, that has a huge impact in other lives. They can either solve inequalities or diminish them. So I fuck with this. I fuck with this because Wells Fargo, for an example, they do not cater to black people. They don't give black people houses, grants, whatever, blase blase, and so that affects people. That affects people and their mindsets, and now you have people that's either walking away from Wells Fargo, or they're like, "Fuck, I'm gonna stay where I'm at. I've been at this bank for 20 years. We have a long relationship." Blase, blase. So I understood that, like, these corporations can fuck up our lives, bro, because we're giving them that power to fuck up our lives. So I fuck with that one. And then the last one I said talks about we need to be in the boardrooms. We need to be a part of those organizations that make big decisions that impact the poor, our community, but in odds, they don't want us. All right, and then we're going to go to chapter 4, collaborative solutions. He discussed the effects of better preparing the poor for jobs such as churches. Then he talks about things you need as an entrepreneur, such as corporate legal firewalls, 501c3, S Corps, board of governors and attorneys. I wasn't, I understand. This wasn't my chapter. Even though I have an LLC, this was not my chapter. And I also wrote, any visions you can accomplish by yourself is too small. I liked that quote that he stated. I'm going to say it again. Any vision you can accomplish by yourself is too small. Your organization is a clear reflection of your vision, purpose, and goal. And then he talks about you need to learn to socialize with people from different backgrounds to obtain a certain goal. When you surround yourself with the same people, all you get is repetition. I get that one. I pride myself on, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but you have to be smart enough to identify who is smart, who's good in what particular area, and either get them to teach you or just get them to manage what you want them to manage. But I'm a big person about, teach me. I want to learn, so I can pass on my knowledge to other people. All right, so we're on chapter 5, why disrupt. So this was the best chapter thus far for me personally. So it talks about success and how it's easy to be sidetracked. And some other key points I took away from this chapter is success doesn't always feel successful. Due to all the things we sacrifice to get it, it sometimes brings loneliness. He talks about being a famous disruptor affects your kids. Bro, read chapter 5. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to stop it right there. Read chapter 5. It is so good, but I still want to talk about it. So, because this was a good topic. This was a really good topic. So, chapter 5, which I was talking about, the famous disruptors. When you have when you're in the limelight and then you have kids and they didn't grow up the way you grew up. You probably grew up in poverty, and now you have money, so you're giving your kids the things that you don't have, and it's like you want them to be better. Like you're giving them the right materials to be great, but they're not great. They don't have your drive. They don't have your passion. They haven't started from the bottom with their way to the top. But they're at the top, baby, and so it's just like, well, only way I can fall is bottom. So just so you know, like that limelight affects everybody. It affects everybody. It affects how people see you. It affects the people that are in your household. It affects you. So just to like understand what you're gonna walk yourself through. So yeah, and then he gave great examples of kids that are in the limelight because of what their parents did, like O.J. Simpson, Bill Cosby. So, yeah. So, just have a positive, outcome and footprint. Be someone that you want to look up to overall, basically, to be honest. Why it's so difficult? Hey, that's the story of my life. Why is it so difficult? Shit. Okay, so this talks about how it's human nature wanting to be better than the person next to you. I don't know about you, but I struggle with that. So I want to be better than everybody in the motherfucking room. But hey, and then talks about invisible fences and how they are placed in our parents and our neighborhoods. They are placed in our parents. Well, yeah, they're placed in our parents. And we must jump them, but to do that, we need to know what they are. Majority are made out of fear and insecurity. We need to have a strategy to survive and thrive on the other side of the fence. to make the jump worthwhile. It has to be sustainable. I enjoyed this. Like, he talks a lot about the fence after chapter 6, and it's really good. But I'm gonna continue, and it says we can't have construction without destruction. We can't build ourselves up unless we tear ourselves down. Like, figure out why this is not working. Like, why it's every relationship I'm in, why is it failing? Like, why every job I enter, they fire me. Like, you have to work on yourself to understand what is holding you back. Like, what is holding me back? Like, you really have to sit there and you have to evaluate yourself. And that's like the hardest thing to do. Like, because we don't want to admit to ourselves that we have problems. Like, we want to say we're okay, we're fine. We're telling people we're okay, we're fine. We don't want to digest what's really hurting us. So yeah. And then he zeroes in on therapy and how a lot of us are walking around not knowing what's holding us back. We we as people are constantly waiting for the person that put that fence up to take it down, and that's not accurate. Once we are over their fence, now we have to adjust to the culture. Things that are unspoken, we now have to follow. Okay, so now we're on chapter 7, major obstacles on the way to disruption. That's a nice title. You must go through the listening stage, learning stage, and final, the leading stage. I fuck with this. Because I feel like, me personally, you have to be a follower to learn how to lead. It makes sense, right? I swear to God, it makes sense. And then my next one, you can't let other people's opinions of you become your reality. Bro, that makes so much sense. You can't tell me it doesn't. Like, you get into this life, and then people swear that they know you. People swear that you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and now you're living for other people. Like, their opinion matters more than your actual thought process, and that's not the case, baby. All right, we're on chapter 8, the challenge of succeeding. So it talks about middle class kids are not smarter than poor, but more prepared. They know how to take tests. Teachers reward the well prepared and punish the least prepared. So that's why kids reject school. Makes sense. And talks about being aware of your surroundings, saying the poor gossip while the middle class budgets. Tell me that's wrong. Too successful to be accepted in the hood, and too black to be accepted in the country club. I ain't even gonna say anything. Next point. I can't get a GED without understanding you, but you can get a PhD and not understand me. So he said that this was a popular quote. I never heard of this quote. I really can't even fathom it or digest it. But I thought it was very interesting. So I just put it in this, video. And then the last quote I took from this chapter: you have to be emotionally intelligent once you jump the fence. That makes sense. You have to be prepared for the unprepared. You have to be willing to make sacrifices. You have to understand yourself, understand your value, understand who you are, and understand the next stage in life. Like, where do you want to become? Who do you want to become? So that makes sense. And once you leap the fence, you are forever changed. All right, chapter 10, being married to a disruptor. So I'm not married. So I listened to the chapter, didn't really write anything down, but I did write 3 key points down. So he said being open to their way of thinking and supporting them. Traditional roles doesn't always work for untraditional people. I felt that one because everybody's on the internet talking about 50-50, and people are like, no, 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 you're crazy, crazy, crazy. And I'm just like, that's my life. I mean, like, why do people give their opinion online? Like, why? mind your business. It needs to be an A-B conversation. Everybody doesn't need to know how you and your man are working, how your relationship is going. It's your business. I understand if you ask for advice, but sharing this information just to share it, that's a no-go. Me personally. And the last one I took, we want to be understood, not just understand. In college, called my dad up and I talked. Baby, I talked. I didn't even want his opinion. I just wanted to talk. So, find those people that are not going to judge you. Last chapter. Chapter 12. Y'all, I read this. Well, I audio booked this in like 14 days, give or take. Missed a couple of days. I didn't like it. Yeah. But, yeah. Chapter 12. Did not write the title down. What we should do now. So, it was a 5-minute chapter. Only thing I wrote was tenacity will get you there. Consistency will keep you there. But gratefulness will give you more than what's there. Pure point blank. So, I got it. I understand it. I understand the assignment. Overall, it was a good book. I give it 3 out of 5 because some of the things that he talked about I didn't experience myself, so that's why I gave the personal rating. Like I don't have kids, I don't have a husband, I don't have a thriving business, so I understand it, I get it. A lot of things that he talked about was brought to life, and I felt it. I cried. Well, I shed a tear on a couple of chapters, but I would definitely recommend this to new entrepreneurs that are, starting families or have been in like their families for years. Like it's a brain opener. Like I said, he talks about the word, but it's not in every chapter. And sometimes he just gives great examples. I will tell you that he gives great examples, and he reads it throughout the chapter. So overall, it was a good book.